Can't hear you. You're muted. I don't know if you're muted or if your mic's not picking up.
What about now?
Boom, we're rolling.
Yeah, you can hear me good though.
Loud and clear. How you
How
doing?
how cold is it down there, dude?
It's not bad today. It's actually it's windy. We got a warm front. So it's I don't know. It's probably 50 something. Warm enough for me to put together my sauna. I've been I've been putting that off for a long time. I ordered one from China for $2,600, 6-person sauna, like great deal. But then shipping was 1,200, which I knew, and then I just keep paying for all this extra stuff. Like I paid to have this little platform made. I paid to have it wired to my house. Now I got to put the damn thing together, so it's taken way more than I thought. But that'll be my project this weekend.
I mean, who the hell do you plan on having in this thing? A
I know, right?
six-person sauna?
So no, a 2-person is like what we should have done, but at least once in its use, probably right after we build it, I'll have 6 people in there, and then never again.
Just to break the thing in and then out with
Like
everybody else.
$2,600. Like if you're gonna get a sauna for cheap, you might as well get the biggest one, right? You got to pay $1,200 shipping either way.
Yeah, I guess so. You might as well just say the hell with it.
Yeah. So
How's your Amazon business been going?
it's I mean I'm gonna say good because we're making really good progress. Put in some big orders. Private labels making like a lot of good stuff. We actually lost money last month technically, so like a lot of people would be freaking out if they saw the books, but it's just because we sold out of most of the stuff at the end of the year. Um, but all in all, like I'm really optimistic for this year, and I'm happy where things are headed. So, what about you?
I actually just looked before this call. So over last year, I'm currently down 21%, which I mean, technically isn't that bad. If you kind of, I know you looked at Caleb's blog post about
Yep.
how FBA's winning like the buy box like 13% of the time. So I can't really complain about being down 21% if, I'm not in the buy box because all my shit was conditioned good, which is stupid, but it's just
Yeah,
kind of like you said, right? They're not, it's almost like a complete reset of my business. So what's already in there, it's already done. I can't go back and change that, but you just kind of got to change things going forward with, what we're doing, what we're sourcing, how we're conditioning.
it's really crazy. Like I was talking to this bookseller today. He does like 10 million, 15 million a year, and he was talking about how he was really giving Caleb props. He's like, Caleb's so fucking smart, man. He's like, why the fuck am I out here like working so hard in my business, and then this fucking guy who's like retired comes in and tells me to condition my books very good, and then because he didn't know about it till Caleb's blog post, and then he was like, my sell through rate's like way up on merchant fulfilled just by like changing that one button,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
like, why does this guy have to come in? I mean, you already saying it. He just doesn't subscribe to Mike Hughes book guy, I guess. So he's losing money because of that.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know till you know, and a lot of things in business, like I ain't gonna lie, like you think, oh man, I got almost 9,000 subscribers, and I go to a library sale, and you think every scanner there would know who I am. It's the complete opposite. Like I rarely get recognized. It's it's good to have company that knows what they're talking about, but it also can be detrimental because you can get sucked down different rabbit holes and things like that, really depending on what you got going on. So, I
Yeah.
mean, the conditioning thing is that's kind of stupid when you really think about it because who gives a shit? Like nobody's even looking. Like I always get these people. They're like, I actually read the condition notes, and like that is not 95% of the population. They're just clicking to buy the shit now. How quick can they get it? So like, to me, I just change one click and go to list, and I'm just like, I don't care. It's all like new. It's no difference to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times they don't. Do they show the condition note in the buy box, the used buy box?
Nope,
Yeah.
nope. You can't even see it. It just sucks that the 3,500 units I had that were conditioned good are basically all but dead in the water.
Yeah, that really does. And then like acceptable. Do you see that? Like
Yeah,
accept
dude. I mean, it's
not
uh,
getting the buy box.
yeah. You shouldn't even be sending if it's acceptable. I mean, I think the big thing, dude, with conditioning, there's a big stigma around it. It's like what is your standards versus what Amazon expects. And I think a lot of people that sell books like care about the books and they really care about the products they're sending. I'm like the complete opposite. I'm like, you might have this high set of standards for conditioning, but I'm going off what Amazon says, and they say this could be like new. That's what I'm putting at. But a lot of people can't get over the hurdle of, oh, well, to me, this book is not like it will. Honestly, I'm not selling on your platform, so like,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. What's your opinion on Chase?
oh man, this guy. They everything, all the facts I have been presented do not shine a good light. But I mean, it's it's content it's content creation in a space where, I mean, let's face it, if somebody came in and wanted to fake it until they make it, I think reselling is one of the easiest categories to do that in. Because you really, most people aren't really going to talk about their numbers. And even if you do really talk about your numbers, like people won't believe you anyway, right? You can say you made $1 million, gonna be like, bullshit. And it's like, even if you show them your 1099, they're just like, whatever, well went to fees. And it's like the complete opposite too. Like, you don't even have to make anything, but if you have a following, you grow a following on social media by posting these like clickbaity, like, I don't know, trendy topics, or just like the shit that he posts with the gaylords, and you're making trillions of dollars. Like, I could see
Yeah,
why people.
what did he what's stirring the pot with him? He's I know he's saying he's making a lot, because even the guy I was talking to on the phone today, and by the way, I like Chase. I've had him on my YouTube channel. He spoke at Books and Beyond. I think he's young. I think he's smart. He actually does know his stuff, because we did like a round table Q&A, and he was really going down some rabbit holes with how to work with libraries. So not fresh off the turnip truck, but fresh enough to still make a lot of mistakes. But what was I going to say about that? We're talking about him listing books is new. Oh yeah, my friend on the phone was like, apparently Chase makes like 40 grand in a day, like flipping books. And so I don't know. He's posting content that he's like making a bunch from the Gaylords.
I think the big problem people have is they they found his store. They see that he's getting Gaylords and he's selling Gaylord books as brand new, and they see all of his feedback as all people saying that it said the book was new and it's not condition new.
Yeah.
So like, it's just a bad look for anybody that's been in the game for a while, like, and sees that. It's like, but that's for people that have been in the game for a while. But somebody that's brand new and you see somebody with this and they have the numbers. I mean, let's face it, dude. If I was to sell thrifted books as new, I'm walking out of thrift stores. I probably could almost buy 80% of these stores.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it instantly increases the acceptance rate by like a crazy amount, especially in fiction. Because I used to do it back in the day. I did it for a while because I met this. By the way, Greg Murphy's been posting again. Do you even know who that is?
no idea, dude.
Okay, he was right before you came in, I think, and he just did a book webinar last night, which was interesting. He got a lot of people into this space. Like he was like Caleb's. So I have Caleb. Caleb had Greg, and so Greg just came back and did a quick little webinar. But went to his warehouse in Ohio. This had to be like fucking. I'm getting old, man. 6-7 years ago. That's crazy. It was 7 years ago, 2019. And he had this little portion of the warehouse dedicated to listing books as new. But he knew what he was doing, and he had employees like look through it. And then even now, there's people I know who do that. They try to get all 4 buy boxes. Like they try to get the new buy box, the used buy box, the used MF, and the new MF. But like you got to know the rules to break them. And right before I started restrictedinventory.com, which really took off and made me a bunch of money, like my focus was listing books as new. And I had this whole process where I'd go out, I'd like you said, like 80% of the books are good to sell. I'd say, like, from my experience, like fiction was like almost every fiction book was good to sell new, and then nonfiction was still kind of hit or miss. But I was walking out of there with like super fast selling fiction, $14, $15 ASP, And what I did was I would take all the books house and I'd say, hey, these are books I think are new. Can you please check? I'd send them an unlisted YouTube video and they'd go through and check every single page. Take three to 5 minutes for them to do it. And if it was indeed a new, it was really dumb. We used to shrink wrap them. And then that's when I started getting bad reviews flooding in left and right because we weren't doing good enough of a job. And then learned my lesson there. But fast forward 7 years and this guy's still doing it. He's still selling books as new 7 years later, selling millions a year. So he broke the rules and found out how to do it. But it's one of those topics where like I run into this on Amazon a lot, where like someone's going to find a gray area and you got to know how to play in that gray area.
That's
and most people are going to get bit, and not make it out. But in every little corner of Amazon, there's people doing things like that. And it's the ones that know how to break the rules properly that make it. So,
yeah, I mean, the people, you're talking about, they have relationships where if they do get jammed up, they can get an invoice from their supplier, whatever it may be. They have outs. But I know plenty of people that sell books that do. I just caution everybody not to do it because I have to be the guy that cautions everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. You're right on that. Because when I was doing it, I was so pumped about it. I was pumping YouTube videos out and left and right. And I was like, maybe people should do this. And I was like, I don't want that backlash, so you really can't. And people are going to screw it up. And a book is something where people look at every fucking page on the inside. And so it's very easy to find out if it's not. Where like a DVD, if a new DVD, so like what's your criteria for a new DVD?
It's actually sealed still from the manufacturer. Yeah. So like it's not, I got a guy in my group, he'll get the ones that still have like maybe I have one here. Let me take a look. He'll get the ones that don't have the actual plastic wrap, but it'll have this sealed on the inside, but it won't be in plastic wrap, and he will reseal them himself and sell it as new. I highly advise against that, but like you said, right, to each their own. How many risks are you willing to take? For me, it's actually got to be plastic wrap sealed for me to sell it as new. I won't sell it as new if it doesn't have the plastic, even if it has the white seal on the DVD. But if you can feel the actual DVD case, it's not new to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things because I've seen this so many times in business where, especially on Amazon, where you make one small tweak, you can list, you can make a trademark and list other brands under your brand, which a lot of people have done over the years. And it used to be within Amazon's policy where you could bundle stuff together. So you could take a Nike shoe and put it with something else and call it your own brand. You can sell Nike shoe under your own brand. Don't have to worry about restrictions, blah, blah, blah. And people made a bunch of money doing that. And people still do that. But now it's a gray area. It's not even a gray area. It's a black area because Amazon doesn't want you to do that. But a lot of people are getting away with it because the category or brand or whatever is not being policed. And so that's when it comes down to, like, if you're going to play in this gray area, you have to know what are the risks and how are you going to make it out. And then people get upset. I've noticed this. Like, people get upset at people playing in the gray area because they know that if they played in the gray area, their profits would go up like crazy, but they don't want to take the risk. And so it's like this push and pull where, like, you see someone like the textbook guy I know that's selling millions a year in textbooks. Like, the other bulk guys know about him and they're just like, oh, this guy's going to get caught one day. Well, fast forward 7 years,
yeah.
He's still doing it. And so it just has to be one of those things where it's like so frustrating. And I've been frustrated too, where it's like, I know where I stand with Amazon, because I've had accounts shut down for the textbook thing that went down years ago. And like, I know it's like the cat has 9 lives and I've been through my 9 Amazon accounts. So I usually err on the side of caution. And unless I know enough about the risk to really play, in a way that makes sense. It's like listening to DVDs is new. Mike's been doing it for several years. He's telling you guys how to do it. He's telling you it's actually within the terms of service of Amazon, which helps,
But you still, even, I may never get caught like you're saying. And then some poor soul sends their first brand new DVD and all of a sudden they need, supply chain invoices for their one DVD.
Yep. You guys read Kayla's blog at all? We got people here that read the new Buybacks blog. That's what really got me fired up back in the day, was reading Caleb's blogs about listing and pricing and all that stuff. So it's cool to see him come back. That's where the backlash comes in. If you teach sell used books as new, then people are going to be upset. It's misleading newbies who don't know the inherent risk.
Yeah, it's all, I always try to tell people my goal as a content creator is to create the most profitable, risk-free business, right? Like, even if I was, even just me telling everybody I'm conditioning everything like new is like controversial. Right? I guarantee a lot of people are like, your
100%.
shit's not like new. And I'm just like, I don't care. I mean,
I love the quote, everything's risky if you're a pussy.
yeah, I mean, you gotta.
That's one of my favorite quotes.
You gotta play the game, dude. This is how they want us to play it. Then you gotta play it.
If you're thinking about, oh my gosh, crypto, like if Bitcoin's going down, oh, my Nancy Pelosi stock's not doing well. Oh, like even the S&P 500, like it could crash 70, 50%. Like cash is, inflating, like literally starting a business. Is it going to work out? No, Amazon could shut you down for no fucking reason. They could shut you down. Everything's risky, so it's just a matter of pushing forward and trying new things and figuring it out. Finding your edge.
We missed Jay up in the chat. Said he wanted to thank us both for starting his business. Listen, hey, we're just proof of concept. You actually have to go out and scan all this shit and get it boxed up and get it sent in, man. So I mean, this game's all about numbers and just scan it as much as you can and send it as much as you can. And CDs and DVDs will definitely allow you to grow a lot quicker.
Good stuff, Jay. No, we kind of need some drama. This one community that has been for a long time drama free. I can talk about some of the drama. I think drama is actually good. That's why when I saw the Chase thing, I think he's got thick skin. I don't know how much he knows about it, but years ago there was Peter Valley and Caleb Roth kind of had their thing. There's been like a lot of low key drama. Me and Reezy even had drama for a while because he copied restrictedinventory.com. He had Reezy.biz for a little bit. We're cool now. I think it's good. Me and FBA Dave, I'm doing a YouTube live with them on Monday. If you want to pop in, you can. We had beef for a while because he said I was actually buying books from the guy I was talking on the phone with today that sells millions a year during the restock limit thing. He called me or I called him and I was like, dude, like I need a lot of books. I'm starting this Amazon book automation thing. And he sold me all these books. Turned out they're all trash. FBA Dave told me they were trash. And I like cussed FBA Dave out of my story. I'm like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And then we met in person years later, and now we're cool. We're live on Monday. So
I save all my beef for when I retire. I'm gonna put out like a 10-hour long video about all the beef I've had over the years, because a lot of the people I don't get down with the get downs, they still create content. So I try not to cramp anybody's style out here. So I just keep it bottled up. I write it in a little book, and then the memoir will be released one day whenever I hang up the boots.
Every time I've had beef, or even not beef, just like I'll have an idea in my head about like someone being the enemy or a business being the enemy. And I always look back like years later and I'm like, it didn't fucking matter. Like all that mattered was I did the things I was supposed to do and worked on building my business. And half the time they weren't even the fucking competition. I was getting my own way. You know, it's just illusion. Like the human mind wants to compete, especially like if you're competitive. You just got to choose the right thing. That's why like the quote, don't compare yourself to everyone else, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, is actually really true, because now you can actually have like a competition with how good you did yesterday, and hopefully you did pretty good yesterday, so you're going to do better today and go in the right direction, you know?
How do you expand when less people are reading everywhere? I honestly think that the trend is coming back. I've had new bookstores open up around me, like brick and mortars. I think we're going to see an increase of people that are actually looking to read physical copies of books over the next, probably 10 years, I would say. I think it's really just I don't want to say it's false, but I think it's different for everybody. Like if you ask that question, like, do you think more people are reading now or not? I think you're going to get basically a 50-50 split. I think some people are going to be like, yeah, there's more people reading. Some people are going to be like, no, there's less people reading.
Yeah. there's stats on there. If you go to statista.com, I mean, there's stats on how many books are bought each year. Pretty steady. I don't know what the last few years have been, but in 2020 it was pretty steady. Buybacks jacked everyone trying to find a fix. List everything is very good. Like you, that's what we're doing these days. How about we go to work hard and do the hard thing, nose to the grindstone, and just do the right thing? What's he talking about?
Yeah, but see, man, you gotta look at it this way, man or woman, not sure. It used to be so much easier, right? So like if you sold on Amazon prior to November of 2025, this game was way easier than it was today. So when you hear a lot of people in the community saying they're quitting, looking to get out of Amazon, it's because it used to be so damn easy. You used to be able to get a $20 prime bump almost guaranteed over merchants on every single listing. Now that that's changed, when things get tougher, I still think it's stupid easy to just go scan things and box them up. Even though we're finding less, it's still a stupid way to make money. It's so easy. But like to your other average person, now it takes a little bit more business sense. You got to understand the data a little bit more in front of you to actually make better buying decisions, or you will get punished on the back end. Like Amazon will kill you in fees and you will lose money every single month. It never used to be this way. It's gotten harder. So every time it gets harder, more people get off the ship. And then, there's only a few of us left on the ship here trying to.
Someone called me. As soon as I do a live with you, people start calling.
I know, dude. That's the way it is. Every single state has book clubs. Oh, for sure. I mean, you just even online now, there's tons of huge online book clubs. I personally, I'm not a huge reader, but I do feel like I've had a bookstore pop up right down the road for me. I know some of the bookstore owners in my area because they go to the library sales. They all seem to be doing good. The number one, somebody asked if I was in the top 10 in Pennsylvania. I ain't got no shot. I'm one dude. I got like big ass Goodwills. The number one person in Pennsylvania actually goes to the book sales I go to. He's right here in Harrisburg, and he has a physical bookstore. So, I mean, physical bookstores are still alive. He ain't giving you no ticket, dude. You're such a beggar.
I actually might, but I think you fucked it up. I think he fucked up the process. So I think Zell was going to tell you how to do it right. But anyway, the restore the box content. We probably need to redo how we tell you to do that and how we show it. I think it's kind of confusing. It's confusing for me because every time I do it, I had to ask Dom. But we'll see. He said he did everything 100%. Okay, we'll talk. But yeah, Chase will probably be there. But y'all's beef is hilarious. Like, I love it too because like, I like having book influencers in the space. Like there was a moment in time where I'm like, where the fuck are all the book influencers at? Like there's nobody out there. Not even influencers, just people talking about books. Because it felt like it was so alive with like Caleb and everyone back, and then he left, and then Steve stopped posting, and I was like, fuck, I'm all by myself. So I liked it.
See, dude, you're already taking heat. You should have never spilled the beans, man. Listen, this is why they'll never cancel me, dude, because it's all out there. Everybody knows how much I make. Everybody knows how I do things. You let out a little secret. There's going to be newspaper articles tomorrow when I wake up. My phone's going to be ringing. I'm going to be getting DMs all over the place.
Yep. But hey, at the end of the day, it wasn't a new book that got me suspended. It was a used book. So used books are dangerous too. And also, are you happy when you log into Amazon, you can click new and buy a new condition book? If you are, then be grateful for people listing as new, because those people are the ones that make that available. He's an anti-influencer. Kind of disappointed to hear this. Oh, I thought that was what's her name? This person's serious.
No, dude, that's it.
Stop cussing. Might have kids.
How much inventory do you keep on per month? Basically, last year I probably hovered right around 5K active every single month at Amazon. This year, I'll be running a little bit leaner. I'll probably run between like 3 and 4K, depending on what the thrift stores actually present me out there. Because, some people like to have these goals of I need to send X amount of items or how many boxes. Well, you go to a thrift store, you can't, it's not like you're guaranteed to get 20 or 30. You got to go in and scan everything and get what you can. So some weeks are better than others, but I'll probably carry between 3 and 4 1,000 active books, CDs, DVDs throughout the whole year. And honestly, that's you have to actually take uh, large numbers and scale this business if you want to make thousands of dollars a month. If you're only looking to make $500, maybe even 1,000, really, you probably only got to get your inventory to like 500 quality books, and you'll be a-okay.
Feed the beast.
Most new books on Amazon listed new are used, in my opinion. I mean, it's what are you gonna do, right? I mean, like Avery said, can I go into a thrift store tomorrow and buy a lot of the books and send them as new? Sure, I can get a million negative FBA feedbacks and I click two buttons and every single one is removed. It's just a matter of, does Amazon call your bluff eventually and ask for your supply chain invoices? Do you have relationships to get them? Most of us don't. And even if you do, that doesn't mean Amazon has to accept them. You could have the perfect document from the perfect supplier and they can say, unfortunately, we are not interested and we would like to part ways with you.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, that happened to me with regular used books. And so, like, when you have to prove authenticity of a book that you bought from a thrift store and you don't know what to do, like, luckily now you guys have us. Like, we know what to do. You upload the Goodwill receipt, you show the bank transaction. This is what's working in 2026. But back in the day, we didn't know that. So you don't know what you don't know. But all this stuff selling on Amazon, it just comes down to, do you know how to navigate? You know how to navigate when they come at you, you know?
I think you said it too, right? Like, we have inherited risk. Let's just run it up while we can, right? And if it goes boom, it goes boom. But let's like try to run this thing up, get as much money as we possibly can out of it. So if it does go boom, who cares, right? If I get banned tomorrow on Amazon, yeah, does it suck that I got to eat the 3,500 units sitting there? But I could care less. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. It is what it is. So like the idea that you're not going to do something because you're scared of a potential outcome versus just doing it and reaping the benefits and then crossing the bridge if it ever happens, it's silly to me.
Mm-hmm. Steve Ray can strongly advise against listing books as new because the risk of getting your account shut down. Is it safer to do CDs and DVDs? The terms of service state that if it's shrink wrapped, it's new, right?
Yes. And another thing I always said was like, we submitted invoices to get ungated to sell DVDs and CDs, right? Now I know it's different. A lot of people just get automatically ungated in CDs and DVDs today. But my thought process behind it was, I at least have some invoices on file that they accepted to sell certain brands and to be able to sell in the CD and DVD category, both new and used. In books, when we started selling books, you just could sell books. You just sell whatever books. I have no invoices for any type of books on my account. That was the thought process I had. So I have but even then, right? All of this is just, it doesn't matter if it's new or used. They can call your bluff on any single item. There's no 100% safe way to have an Amazon selling account, no matter what type of business model you have.
Yeah. In the wholesale space, like, I'm starting to sell a new brand and everything looks good. The buy box is being shared evenly with a bunch of sellers. There's 70 plus people selling this brand, which is a great indicator that if 70 people are selling it and I can get it at a good price, I could probably make a good profit on it. But like, my gut just doesn't know yet, like, who are the sharks? Does the brand come after you? Do other sellers come after you? Who's doing the test buys? Do other sellers do test buys? Like, there's all these dirty tactics that come with selling on Amazon. And like, I know all that in the current brand I'm selling. Like, I know, oh, when I get this, whatever, it's a bluff. This, like, I know how to deal with. But like, now that it's a new brand, it's like, it's a new space. It's just like going from books to DVDs to CDs. Like, there's like slight nuanced differences. Like, the buy box is still there for DVDs, right? The prime bump, but it's not there for books. And so like, when you enter this new category and you're scanning, you're getting all the data with the tool on your phone, the scanning app. These different categories are nuanced. One of them, you want to list very good, like new, in order to get that premium price, because we found that condition matters and gives you a higher price potential for books. But for DVDs, we're still playing in the old buy box game where if you list it as prime, you're going to get that prime bump, And so that's why it's important to really niche down and understand what you're dealing with. Has anyone been recently gated with publishers that were okay before?
Yeah, it's going around again. There's been a few people in my group that have been running into more gates. It's it's tough to get through some of these gates. I've run into some soft gates this past week where I just apply and I get auto approved. It's a balancing act because you have to like almost sell a lot to not deal with the gates, but you can't sell a lot if you're gated in a lot. So it's a catch 22. But yeah, Hernan, you're not the only one. It's there's been a few people out there that have been jammed up with some new gates that have kind of come about.
What's the current market share of used books compared to total books sold in the U.S. markets, and how much of physical stores and how much is online? Good questions. I'm sure ChatGPT could help you with that. Just plug that in ChatGPT. I get new books that aren't shrink wrapped and never have been opened. I still list them as new. If that's bad, let me know. Everyone in here says it's bad, but I say play at your own risk. Know the rules before you break them, and make sure a new book's a new book. So if you went to Barnes and Noble and you picked up a new book, would you be happy with the condition of it? And if not, then don't sell it as new. That's the rule. But also play extremely careful, because you'll end up like Chase with a bunch of negative store reviews. And then,
I just, for me, I wouldn't do it. I remember you probably come across some of these in your days. The textbooks that were the loose leaf ones, and they would be shrink wrapped because it's just the loose leaf stacks. Like I remember coming across those all the time and being like, damn, if only I could sell these as new. And like I never sold them as new. I just caution people, even if they are shrink wrapped with the books, or especially if they're not shrink wrapped. And I know Fita said that, a lot of the books come in the case packs. They're not shrink wrapped. Like no, really very few new books are actually shrink wrapped that are brand new. They're usually in a box and they're all just not cracked or anything. Just honestly, there's too much money to make that it's not really worth the risk, in my opinion. That's why I don't do it, because there's millions and millions of books out there. So like, yeah, I can go out tomorrow and clear out my thrift stores of books that I think are new, but my opinion to somebody else's opinion. And then if you get one review or one customer, one Karen, that's like, this book is not new, it's fake. All of a sudden, you're off the creek without a paddle, because some bozo got the book. Even if it is shrink wrapped, they could still say the same exact damn thing.
Yeah, so I think the big risk with selling books as new, in my opinion, is like eventually a publisher who like has exclusive selling rights to like certain vendors is going to see that you're or vice versa, like they have exclusive rights to the publisher. Eventually they're going to be like, how the heck did this person who's not like authorized get it? And that's when it would happen. They would put an IP complaint or whatever out, and then that'd be my fear. But anyway, just err on the side of caution and listen to Mike the Used Book Guy. Just donate 500 duds to a community library. Nice. It's also good if you got like a Second and Charles or McKay's or Powell's, one of those stores. I don't know. I never donated to Powell's directly. Just I've shipped them stuff. But if you could take to a buyback store, a bookstore that buys back books, it's always a good opportunity. Here's a question. After you hit a thrift store, how long do you wait before going back to the same thrift store? It depends. I used to go to a bookstore every day. And the reason why is fresh inventory is the best inventory. And I would just list them for the cart that would bring books out. And whenever they brought them out, I would go scan them. Now, this was a giant bookstore. They're putting books on the shelf every hour. If it's a thrift store, you got to find out how often they restock. And that's how often you go. If they restock every Tuesday, 9 a.m., you should be there 8:30, ready to rock and roll. Once you know the manager well enough, maybe have them text you, hey, we're bringing in some books. Hopefully you get access to the back room before that, but would you concur with that?
I have stores. My quickest store is probably 10 days and my longest store is probably 10 weeks. It's a huge difference. It really depends. That's why I tell everybody in the beginning, I used to keep a little calendar in my side front passenger door, and I would write down where I was at, how many items I found when I went, so I'd be able to reference it. It's going to take months of you going to these stores to really kind of understand how much they're refreshing. And like Avery said, you don't got to be this super hot shot and go in and be like, hey, can I go in the back and scan your stuff? No, just be like, hey, I love shopping for books. How often do you guys put out new books? Like kind of weasel your way into these relationships, and it's going to give you better kind of an idea of how much they are actually putting stuff out, because you don't want to go all the time when you're scanning the same stuff. And you don't want to go too few where you're missing maybe somebody else in your area is coming and getting the better books.
Yeah. And just realize, like, if we looked at a map on everyone's city, I could look at someone in Iowa versus someone in Chicago versus someone in New York, and each person we can map out 50 thrift stores, 15, 10. There's probably only going to be a handful of honey holes, like a handful of stores you really need to go to. And I could say Susie in Iowa, she has a $1,000 per weekend route. That's like the max she can make is $1,000. Then we go to Bill in Chicago. Actually, no, Bill in Chicago. Sell back your book, Bill. Oh, he's got a $2,000 route if he hits this whole route within 10 hours, within 6 hours. You probably don't want to spend 10 hours. Let's say 4 hours. And then let's just say Jack in New York has a route that can make him $500. New York's probably going to be the best, but let's just say New York's going to make you $500. Now, with all those different routes that people have, that's the amount of profitable books that are on the shelf that are going to make you money. Now what you can do is you can do the route faster. So if you can scan faster, if you can drive faster, if you can list your books faster, now you make more per hour on the same route. So like there's two different versions of the lady in Iowa. One morning she drinks caffeine, a Red Bull, and she runs through the route in 3 hours. Another time she's talking on the phone, screwing around. It takes her 6 hours. Her time per hour is twice as valuable the time that she does 3 hours. And so like that's obvious, is like do the thing faster. And then the next thing would be, hit your route more often. Maybe you could hit it twice a week versus once a week. Maybe you could hit it Friday and Saturday. Maybe it's Saturday and Sunday versus just one day a week. And then I'd say the next level is what type of relationships do you have? So there's one version of Bill in Chicago who just goes in to the thrift store, scans and leaves. And then there's another version of Bill that talks to the manager, talks to the back room, gets access to the back room, scans the books that are back there. And he's getting access to books that no one else has access to. Nobody has the balls to ask for backroom access. Nobody else asks the manager, hey, can I go to the back of the room and scan the books that are there? And you're getting 2 to 3 times, sometimes even more acceptance rate than the books on the shelf, because everyone's already been through the books on the shelf. Maybe the store themselves have been through the books that are on the shelf. And so the next level would be, what type of relationships do you have? So are you working relationships with all the places you're going to? So every city, like there's a dollar amount that you could put on somebody's route. There's how fast can they run that route? And then out of the relationships that exist on that route, how much have they truly tapped in to the relationships of the thrift store owners, of the library store owner? Like, are they happy when they walk into the library sale? Do they make the library, the friends of the library smile? Do they help them take fucking 50,000 pounds worth of books out of the library one day? Because I guarantee you, if you do that, they will give you whatever you want. Like, you help them move a mountain of books out of the library into a dumpster, whatever they're doing.
That's what I do, dude. That's what I do.
And you can't not love someone after that when you're 70 years old and you're doing this as a hobby, and that young man just fucking saved your day. Like all these things are like, how can you maximize what is your weekend worth? Is it worth $500? Is it worth $1,200? And these are all the variables you can tweak on, like, how much time are you making per hour? What relationships are you tapped into? Because somebody was asking earlier about like used books versus how many sell or whatever. There's millions of used books in every city. If you could instantly snap your fingers and get them all in your living room shipped out to Amazon FBA, you'd be set. You'd be making millions. But it's how many of those books can you get, and how fast can you get them? And, going upstream and building relationships is the best way to do it, but also scanning faster, being smart, finding out where the good places are. All good stuff. But anyway, end rant. Having a little dog helps. That'll give you whatever you want.
My thoughts on buyback companies. Honestly, if you're not doing bulk and you don't have processes in place, don't even waste your damn time. The only thing I use buyback companies for, and you hit a soft spot, because I'm dealing with one right now and I'm pissed off. All right, so I'm going to go on record here. Avery already pissed everybody off because he said he sold books as new. I'm going to piss everybody off and say, Books Run. Every time I send them a textbook, dude, it's something. It's always something. It's like that family member that whenever they're around, something's got to happen. Dealing with them now. Send them a textbook 3 weeks ago. It's delivered. Where the hell's it at? We don't know. You can't even speak to a human being on the site. You got to click through like 35 links and like go down all these rabbit holes to get a hold of somebody. I hate buyback companies. I only do it for textbooks, and it better be at least a $30 bill. It's the only thing I do it for. And I wouldn't recommend you pick up this bulk buy and you scan everything for Amazon and you're like, okay, I got all the good stuff. Well, I'm going to sit here and scan these 10,000 books again and get a nickel for some of them. No, go to your thrift stores, go scan the fresh, better inventory. Stop wasting your time trying to pick up pennies when you got dollar bills out there in your stores. For 95% of booksellers, wasting your time with buyback companies, that's all it is. It's literally you're making dollars per hour versus if you're out at the store, you're making tens of dollars per hour. But we got to be like, well, I got it, so I got to scan it. And I'm like, no, go to the store. You'll make 10x your money on your time.
Yeah. You just made me think, this is like a random thought, but in terms of Amazon losing your shit, like I've had Amazon lose, they lost $5,000 worth of product last month for me. And I just saw like negative 5,000 come in on my profit report for this one item. And I'm like, fuck. For go-to lister users who are uploading their batch data and they're getting their reimbursed for lost items, I'm not saying do this, but I'm just curious. There's probably some mathematical formula that gives you money back based on either the sales price or the buy cost. And I'm wondering what would happen if I just changed my buy cost to like 3x. I just don't have the balls to do it in case they ask for invoices. Because I actually haven't. So I'm using invoices, whereas people using GoToLister for used items are using the batch data. So the batch data is more subjective. I'm wondering if have you heard of anyone like putting the COGS as like $5 per?
No, all I ever say is people complaining that they don't get reimbursed nowhere near what they should actually get reimbursed for. That's all I ever hear about it.
Is it I found with wholesale it's like a percent. It's like it seems like 70% of my buy cost.
I mean, for us in the media land, we all got screwed by reverse reimbursements probably like 2 months ago, where they were going back a year and saying all of a sudden they found our inventory and they were reversing a ton of reimbursements. I think they wound up getting me for like $350 of reverse reimbursements, and then they were just nickel and diming everybody else. What?
They let you sell the book then? Like
no, dude, it's gone. They say quote unquote they found it, but it doesn't show back up in your inventory.
Oh my gosh.
It's like just another way to get a little bit extra money. $350 out of my pocket, whatever. Keep the lights on at the warehouses. I don't know what the hell you guys do with the money, but so they reversed reimbursements from literally 1 year ago that they said we lost your item, damaged it, whatever.
Yeah.
Reversed it, took the money back out of our account, but didn't return that piece of inventory to our stock. So it's like
you just saw it pop up on Keepa's Amazon resell.
It's like what kind of scam? What kind of scam we running?
Happened like with that Jewish set I always talk about. I did an online arbitrage one time and they lost it, and then all of a sudden I see Amazon warehouse selling it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, come on. There's no chance that just popped up somewhere. A rare Jewish book set Amazon randomly found in their warehouse, and then they lost mine and never paid me for it. They're funny.
It's I'll tell you what, man. It's tougher 100%. I think the big thing that we're going to have to get over this year as thrift store runners is we are going to find less, but in theory, the items we are buying are better quality. But the problem is when we find less, you don't get the dopamine hit of getting 50 items in the store anymore. Maybe we only get 20, 25. But I just challenge everybody that those items we're actually putting in our cart and buying, now that we're being more picky, more selective, looking at how much the merchants are going for, how are we going to condition ours, we can make more money by selling less items. I know it sounds like the biggest scam in the universe, but on Amazon, this is actually possible, right? Joji's in the chat if he still is. Like his type of business model, the higher ASP you have, the more money you make. If I sell a book for $17, Amazon takes 10, I get 7. Joji sells a book for $80, he gets 60, Amazon gets 20. ASP is such a huge factor in the split you actually get from Amazon. It's not the same all the way up the ladder. It's not 50-50 all the way up. Once you pass a certain threshold, I think in books it's around $21. Once you sell a book for $21, you make more than Amazon makes. CDs and DVDs, it's around $17. So you make more on every sale than Amazon makes. So as you scale your ASP higher, you make more money. So if you can find higher quality items, less of them than the lower quality items, you can do less work, sell less items, but make more money into the bank account at the end of the year. That is the mindset we got to have going into this year and with all of these changes.
Damn right.
It's tough though, man. I mean, I said it a million times already. I go out, I find less now. I can't get the crazy prime bump, so I got to leave behind the no FBA type stuff. But for me, I still see it as, well, if Amazon's still going to pay me $5,000 to $10,000 a month to go out 2 days a week, like, I'd be stupid to stop doing this. And I think that's another thing. Like, if you feel like it's not worth it, I challenge you to actually look at your numbers and break down how much you're making per hour, right? Track how many hours you work in a week, see how much Amazon pays you out, and reverse engineer to get your dollar per hour. Because last time I checked, the job market's absolutely trash right now. And in Pennsylvania, minimum wage is $7.50, which you're better off just bumming money on the corner. So, like, I'm still making probably close to $55 an hour. I don't know who's going to pay me that much. I don't think anybody here is going to pay me that much. So guess what? The books and DVDs and CDs life, that's what it's got to be. I think a lot of people quit before they realize the true possibilities or even really realize how much they're making per hour they spend in the business.
Yeah, it's just about grinding it out. Like, I remember I thought I was making a bunch of money when I was selling 3,000 a month, you know? And then I realized, like, looking back, I remember one time somebody asked me, like, bookseller David Chung, he was like, how many books are you sending to Amazon a month? And, like, I hadn't really thought about it. I was like, I did the math. I was like 400. I was only sending 400 a month. And then that kind of changed my perspective of, oh, like, if I want to get more sales, I really have to send, like, way more, because 400 books is nothing. And then I made a goal of like 1,000 a month, because at the time that seemed like insurmountable. And then eventually built systems and stuff and went kind of crazy. But the only way to grow is to send more or send higher profit books and just feed the beast, you know, and measure it the whole way. Like, measure, what are you sending each week? How many boxes did you get out? And you'll fine tune this skill over time, and you'll look back, you know, you're going to learn all these things that, you know, you'll know where the best, you'll just learn so much about your city, where the best books are, who's the book person to go to. You'll build the relationships, and then you'll have an unfair advantage as time goes on. And maybe even, like, graduate to something else. Maybe you'll start going to Walmart clearance, or maybe you'll build a wholesale relationship or start a private label business. And there's a lot of opportunities with it, but this is a foundation, you know?
For sure. I mean, I think about, like, is there really people out there truly that are doing this 40 plus hours a week, right? Like,
No.
I think to myself, like, how many people? It's a percent of a percent. So I think this gives you opportunity to make money, have some money in your pocket, and maybe focus on another business model you're thinking about, or another passion project you have that you want to turn into something. I think a lot of people get caught up with like the number side of it. And for me, a lot of it is the time. Like, people give me shit like, Mike, drive further. I'm like, I don't want to drive further, right? Let me just cook in my hour and 15-minute radius, right? So, like,
you're very fortunate, though. You do live in a good part of the country.
Yeah, I mean, I have competition at library sales, but other than that, I ain't got much. But, like, I think a lot of people
Great.
don't, like, try to focus on the time they spend. Like, I want to make as much money and do the least amount of work as ever, right? If I could just sit here and get paid and do absolutely nothing, that's what I want to do. But people just feel like they always got to be in the business, always on the business. I'm like, no, get out of that. Like, let's see how many hours we can get you down to while keeping and growing your business at the same time. We don't want to just be burning our time. Like you said earlier, you go out to the thrift store, you're roaming around, you're looking at clothes for yourself. Like, no, we're in and out. We're hitting shit. We're getting out.
So what are your thoughts on online arbitrage books? And would you ever consider going that route?
If I did it 100%, I would just flip Amazon to Amazon, new books. You got an invoice from Amazon, so you can never get jammed up.
Have you ever done a OA flip? Have you ever bought something off eBay or?
Nah. I do like the idea of Amazon to Amazon. If it was for new items, I would only do new items. I wouldn't mess around with anything used. Same with eBay to Amazon. I would do only new items. I wouldn't mess around with used. That would just be my approach to it. I think any of these business models work. You just have to understand what it takes to get it to where you want it to be. First thing is, where do you want it to be? All right, well, what's the capital you have to get it there, and how long are you willing to wait to get there? Answer those 3 questions, you'll be able to build any business out there. You'll be able to build it from scratch. But you got to know what you're working towards, what your goals are, what you want to get out of the business before you can say, oh, this business model sucks. Or like, I think that's a big thing. Like, people will try something and it doesn't work right away and they think it sucks, right? Like, I get it all the time. Like, you can't make money selling books on Amazon. Like, how many people have quit and posted on Facebook that this business model sucks, right? And I slapped down my 1099. I'm like, yeah, what about this? That shit don't matter because they really never gave it a shot and they gave up before it even had a real chance. I think that's where a lot of the negativity comes from with any business model when people are yapping that it doesn't work. If you really didn't put in a time or give something time, in Amazon selling used books, I'll be straight up with you. You're looking at like a 3 to 6 month runway to make any type of dollars into your bank account. You're not getting paid this month or next month. That's a personal guarantee from me and Mr. Bezos himself.
Yeah, people don't like that idea. So many people think short term, like when they go for their car loan, they think, how much am I paying each month? When they go for any type of purchase, it's like, well, how much money is leaving my bank right now? And so they look at a business, an inventory-based business, and they're like, oh, money just goes out of my account for several months and I make nothing and I work my ass off. Fuck that. I'm gonna go work a job. But then you have people who understand the opposite side where they're like, I work for another guy. He pays me. He can fire me at any time, or I could have my own business that I own that has unlimited upside. Yeah, it's got downside too, but I can spend $1 to make $1, which means I can spend $10 to make $10, which means I can spend $10,000 to make $10,000. That's what really got me excited. That's what changed it for me. I was looking into product-based businesses versus service-based businesses. I think they're both great. You can scale both. But it was like with a product-based business, how many products can you sell in a day? Which was really how much capital you're putting in to get back out. And the number's infinite. You can sell an infinite number of products almost in a day if you just send enough to Amazon, And so that's what got me excited. I was cutting grass and I checked my phone and I saw I sold a textbook for $40. And then the lady outside, when I got done cutting her grass, she paid me $40. And I'm like, I sold a textbook, a fucking book that I got from like a college kid. I was still in college. Me and Keith are out here cutting this yard. We're sweaty as hell. The machine break. I got to pay him 20. Then we got to split the gas. And like we got to sharpen the blades. We got to replace the carburetor. And it just seems so easy. It's like the easiest $40 I ever made. Then I had tried thrifting. It sucked. I got kicked out of the first thrift store I ever went to because I was too nervous scanning the books. Loaded up the whole cart with books. The guy's like, get out of here. You're done. Like I was just doing the worst thing ever. I was taking all the trash books. He got on to me because I had the noise on the phone, the cha-ching, and it sounded like a fucking casino. And he's like, you're making way too much money. Get out of here. I was losing money. I didn't sell shit. I do that over and over again. The only reason why I had confidence to sell books was I sold books in college. So I at least had that anchor of like, I've sold some books before, but these books aren't selling. And then eventually you figure it out. You send enough shitty books and you'll work it out. You'll find out what's good and what's not pretty quickly.
Laurel, I do not prep. We're wasting no time prepping books. You're going to peel the sticker off like new. I even got to open this thing. I know it's like new. Like new. Oh, yeah, like new. Oh, wait a minute. There's a little corner up here. Oh, that's like new. We're good to go. We should be spending little to no time prepping items. All I'm worried about is getting a little price sticker off this. And there's even people out there that buy thank you stickers. They don't even peel the price labels no more. I used to use a heat gun. I ain't got time for that. You can buy dark thank you stickers. You can cover up the price label like that. If you have pain in the ass, like Ollie stickers or something. But we're not. I remember, dude, I used to get books and they would have like 50 dog-eared pages. I'm thinking to myself, what idiot dog-eared all these pages? I used to sit there, dude, and undog-ear every page. Not no more. That thing's dog-eared. It's going in dog-eared. It's arriving at whoever buys its door dog-eared. We should be spending no time prepping books or CDs or DVDs. You're checking it for scratches. err on the side of caution.
College, I would sell these acceptable condition books. And since I was a college student, I still had the perspective of how valuable somebody else's notes were if they were good. And a lot of them were good. And I would like almost want to charge more for the super acceptable condition books that just had highlighting and notes and like everything was like organized in the book. You got stickers coming out. I'm like, shit, this book I should charge $10 more for because it's already been, doctored up with like the answers. But
I think a lot of people get caught up with that little stuff because, like we talked about when we first started this, our standards are higher than Amazon standards. If anybody's ever shopped on Amazon, they will ship whatever it is in a poly mailer. They could care less about your product getting to the door safely. So we have this idea that, oh man, I really got to take care of this. And I really got to, make sure that it's in pristine and make sure there's no dog ears or highlighting or any of that. It does not matter as an Amazon used media seller. You're 100% protected against any negative feedback you get. And if you look at Amazon's guidelines, you easily can see that it is actually like new if you go off their actual guidelines and not your own. That's why I don't waste time doing these things, because it's not necessary. And as a business owner, we can't waste time doing things that aren't necessary, especially at scale, because if I got to sit here and, look at every little thing on 500 items I'm sending every single week, my weekend's gone. I'm trying to get in and out with GoToLister. I'm like 2 hours and then that's it. Right. I'm shutting it down. I don't want to be here all day wasting my time on this.
Yeah. Shout out Joji, co-host, or he's a host of Books and Beyond conference going down in October this year. I feel like me and Mike are going to get something going. I know I said I was going to do it last year, but I have a feeling this year at some point I'll be in Philadelphia, and I feel like Caleb's going to be there too. Just throwing stuff out there. I don't know, but we'll do a little meetup there and hopefully convince you one day to come to Books and Beyond. But maybe that'll be Books and Beyond 2035.
Yeah, in my backyard.
But shout out Joji. He's over in the online arbitrage book world with his community there. I think something to consider, Joji, is after Caleb's post about Very Good winning most of the Buybacks. And I think the reason why Like New didn't win is because there's just not as many Like New books.
Not for long, baby. Give me some time. Let's rerun this report in a couple months.
But I think even for the OA people, telling the prep center, hey, prep these books Very Good, Like New instead of good. The acceptable part of that blog post, like the acceptable books just not getting the Buybacks basically at all, right? What was the percent? 10%?
I never even messed around with acceptable anyway. I always told everybody, if it's acceptable, if like your dog peed on it, like just throw the thing out. Stop trying to just if it's in that bad of condition that you think it's acceptable, right? We're talking about our own standards here because everybody lives in their own standards. Like just throw the thing out. There's no point even sending it.
Yeah, some Goodwills will list everything as acceptable. I used to do OA from Goodwills, and I'd buy a book and brand new condition looking acceptable. Like those guys are suffering right now because they're not getting much buybacks.
Yeah, well, at least the merchants can just delist and relist everything in a better condition. We can't change our conditions. We're permanently stuck.
Appreciate you, JCast.
It's it's still no time better than today, I think, to start selling media on Amazon. I think you gotta just block out the noise and put in the work, and everything changes. It's not even just books on Amazon. Every business has to make changes over the years, whether you're selling online, whether you're mowing lawns like Avery, you have to make changes to stay afloat. Every business model works.
Software, GoToLister, we had to rebuild that thing last year.
Yeah, you guys got to deal with this whole new API call thing that's coming up. There's always changes. You can't just fold at the first obstacle. Like that, you're never going to get anything going in life if you're just so quick to just throw in the towel. Like it doesn't matter. Maybe you won't have your best week. Maybe you won't try maybe you never try online arbitrage, or you try it and you don't get the results after a few items. Like that doesn't mean the business model doesn't work. It's just you got to put in a little bit more effort. There's so much knowledge out there across all of these business models. But the one thing that none of us can do or make you do is actually put in the work to be successful in said business model. We could talk about, we could give you a list of every library in your area and say, hey, call one of these, you'll get them. And nobody will do it. I already told everybody I did this myself. Go to Google, type in libraries near me, get every email address, every phone number. You don't feel like calling them, shoot them an email. Hey, I'm Avery. I like sitting in saunas, but I also sell books online. I got a cat. Sometimes I'm live on YouTube. You guys have any extra books? I'm looking to support the library. I have a little book business that I have to sell books to feed my cat. All of a sudden,
a lot of times you can't, and your brain cannot connect that loop, that actions like that are the most valuable actions you can make. So when you take those actions, you tell yourself, oh, that was dumb. I spent 1 to 2 hours emailing places. I made $0. I should have gone to Arby's and worked. I would have gotten at least $17 cold hard cash, money in the bank. I'm a fucking idiot. Just like my brother told me, just like my uncle told me, I'm not worth shit. But what you have to do is subjectively reward yourself in those times and say, oh, I did the actions necessary that will eventually allow me to get a really good connection, a really good source where now, I could get 50,000 a year from this one library that lets me scan the books in the back. And even to this day, I've actually gotten pretty good at subjectively rewarding myself. Like, I know when I'm working on the important things in my business and I'll be working on them, but there's still sometimes this empty feeling. And you get the whole feeling when you ship a book MF to Amazon or you ship a box of FBA books. There's this like feeling of completion, like it's done. But that's the most worthless thing you could be doing, because you could pay somebody $12 to $15 an hour to pack a box for you. What you can't really get someone to do for you is Mike couldn't have somebody come on here and be Mike the Used Book Guy for an hour on YouTube. He just can't replace himself. Mike couldn't have someone. He could try and get someone to call a library and or finesse and flirt with the friends of the library or whatever he needs to do to get those books. They're just not going to be as good, most likely. They're just not going to have that knowledge. And so, like, really focusing on those things, like the important things, the things that are hard to put like a value on, they're probably going to make you $0 for a long time. But the one time they work, it's a $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 connection that's recurring. And so,
I mean, dude, I got one of my libraries from a Craigslist post like 5 years ago. Who the hell uses Craigslist, right? Like, nobody in their universe is going to use Craigslist. All I did put up there was that I buy books, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Like, I permanently have this library connection until I'm dead or I decide to pass it down to another bookseller in the area. Like, and that's all it took. Like, it's just a 10-minute.
Most successful booksellers, you're like, oh, wow, like, how are you successful? You talk to them, and shout out to his name's Mike. His name's Mike too. Mike Golden State Picker. He makes $100K a year, over $100K a year. He's got one connection out in California.
Yep.
David Chung, my friend, he's out in Denver. Sells millions a year. One source. We got the kids up in Van Roop and Vishal, up in Canada. They've stacked millions of dollars cash. They started in 2020. Couple connections. Like, it just comes down to like what connections work. Now, how many outreaches do these people do? How many hours of working and how many different angles did they try? Probably a ton. It's just the ones that land and then taking advantage of them when they do. I just started selling. I only have one sale. I put a flyer, pick up books. I'll pick up books. Someone messaged wanting to donate his late wife's books. Sounds good. Would be better if it was the husband's, but we'll take wife. It turned out that 31 feet, what's the most efficient way to process it? So in that case, I've done several deals like this where a whole library closes down, a college closes down. I've dealt with not too many like late husband or wives, but usually if it's like a priest or something, it's pretty good. But your best bet is to 31. What did I say?
31 cubic feet, maybe?
31 cubic feet.
That's a shit ton of books, dude. Listen, you didn't pay nothing for them. Scan for good. If it ain't good, you get rid of it that same damn day. Do not let these books sit around your house. You'll start smelling like them. Your friends and family members will think differently.
Or charge to remove them, but you don't know how hard it is to remove those books until you do it. I've done like 1,000 books. Yeah, I've removed a whole library of books into a dumpster.
Dude, I've been there too, and they're never on the first floor. I remember I actually drugged Deb with me to one, and it was a professor, and he was moving, and he wanted to liquidate. It was in the basement. They didn't say that till we got there. He built like his own custom bookshelves. It was in the basement, and the house was on a hill. So the walk out to the basement was like further down the hill. So you had to go down, carry everything up to the. I literally filled the Sonata up to the ceiling with that shit. It was brutal.
I'm gonna see if I can find this video real quick.
It's I mean, don't get caught up with trying to squeeze every penny out. Stick to your trigger sets. If it's profitable, we're sending it. If not, it goes away. Don't be trying to list lots on eBay. Value your time is what I'm going to tell you. Don't try to squeeze pennies. You're especially somebody brand new. I know it's going to be enticing that you have all these books that you paid nothing for. We're going to take the good ones. We're going to make our money. We're going to get rid of the next. And then, believe it or not, somebody else will probably reach out to you and they'll want to get rid of their books as well.
All right, here, I found this video. This was always my go-to method with deals like that, is I would bring someone or a couple people, rope them in. I always found I could process books 3 times as fast with 2 people. Like you'd think with 2 people it'd be twice as fast. It's 3 times as fast, and the reason why is you don't have to move as much with 3 people. So if you look here, this is my cousin and my friend Fritz. I just sat there and videotaped them the whole time. No, I'm just kidding. I was in the back stacking the books. What we did is, you can see I'm the one moving the most and they're stationary, and this works really well. So I'm stacking all the books barcode up. I think for Drew, my cousin on the right with the hat, I'm stacking the books so he can scan with his. No, he's scanning the barcode. On the right, Fritz is doing lookups with the Amazon seller app. So Fritz is looking up all the books that just have like unique cover art, but they don't have barcodes. The barcodes are covered up. And so he's scanning them with his phone. He's scanning the cover. And then Drew is just scanning lightning speed with the laptop. He probably has his phone. You just use your phone these days. Phone's a lot better. Just use a camera. Do you use your camera on the phone, or do you still use a Bluetooth?
Nah, I always use Bluetooth, but the camera works amazing now. It used to be not as good, but it's super.
I like the camera because I can toggle to OCR, so I can scan the barcode and then toggle to scan the number. If there's no barcode, I can just scan the number. But a Bluetooth scanner is still faster. So these scanner. Oh, these are weird fiction books, so the barcode's on the inside. But anyway, this is how we process them. We stack them up. One person stacking them so the other person can just go through them super fast. And I've seen bulk warehouses do this, where they have someone stacking all the books. And so if you're going through and we probably went through, I don't know, there's probably 30 books in each of these boxes, and we had to go through like 500 of them, 15,000 books we went through in a couple of days. So it's doable. But anyway, that's my method. Getting late. See what else we got here.
Yeah, that's my wife. I drug her to a estate sale pickup one time in the middle of July. No AC, upstairs bookcases, and they wanted us to take the bookcases too. Somehow I survived.
Some people would like that. Some people would like to take the bookcases, but you quickly realize, and also remember, whenever you're doing a book deal like that, try and take a screenshot of how you feel in the middle of the job and how much you hate books. And remember, that's how most people feel all the time about their excess inventory. And so realize that's their problem and you're there to solve it. And you're not taking their books to sell on Amazon. You're alleviating them from the pain of all the books they have. If you can remember that frame of mind, you're going to sell people a lot better on helping them out. I was trying to use Scout IQ and I couldn't get it to work right. It was never acknowledged the buy box price. Is there something better to use?
Match your triggers. Double check your triggers. If not, go to my channel, my YouTube channel. I made a triggers video. Make sure you have it set that it's actually going off the used buy box. Whatever it's highlighting is what it's pulling off of. So you'll be able to tell exactly what it's pulling off of. Then you can just change your triggers to make it work for you.
What about, quick question, the buy box on these apps? Is it
dude, they're wrong.
So what are people doing? What are you you made the new triggers, right?
Yeah.
Apparently Keeper reports the right API. So that's the one we're using to build this app. And so, or the Keepa API reports the correct buy box. That's how Caleb pulled all that data. So that's what I'm using to make the app, but I'm curious. So Scoutly and Scout IQ are pulling the wrong buy box. So are people just like,
You gotta pay attention, dude. You gotta pay attention when you scan. That's why we have that yellow trigger now that kind of makes you look to the left. So you got your green, your red, and then you have your yellow that kind of alerts you to pay a little bit more attention and look at the merchant column. Sure, it's not all the buy boxes that are completely wrong, so it's not like 100% of the catalog, but it's just, you got to spend a little bit more time and, scan, get the greens, get the yellows, put them in a cart, and just double check them before you actually check out. You be amazed at how many items that you were going to buy that aren't really getting the buy box because it says that it is in the buy box at $17, and you go and look and it's a merchant that's getting it for $6 free shipping, and hey, not going to buy that item, right? But the only caveat to that is what we were talking about earlier. Now that I am conditioning my items as like new, what does that prime bump look like over very good, right? So like, I'm willing to take more risks now. I have the cash flow, but if I was somebody that didn't have the cash flow, I 100% would be like, I'm not going to buy this. If the buy box is at $6 at a merchant, even though the scanning software is telling me the buy box is $17, the product page is a completely different story. That was one I would leave behind.
Yeah. I remember you explained that a little bit last time. Yeah, people gotta learn how to use their brains.
Estee just brought up something we talked about earlier. Been selling on Amazon for 3 months, still breaking even. We literally said exactly what you just said in the comment version. You're looking at a 3 to 6 month runway to make any money on Amazon. So you should be getting to the point now where you're covering all of your fees, and you should probably see a nice amount in your account level reserve. That's actual profit that's owed to you that will be rolled over in the next pay period. So you should already be through all of the growing pains as a new Amazon seller. You should not be in the negative even 3 months in. So yeah, you should be at least covering all your storage fees, all of your standard fees, your $30.99 subscription fee. But you should start seeing some actual payouts into your bank account, within the next month or two.
Yeah. Sweet. We'll appreciate
All right.
time. We'll talk soon. And if you guys got any questions, hit up Mike, hit up me.
My last thing to add is GoToLister monthly calls tomorrow. If you're a GoToLister member, hop on the Zoom with me. I'll answer all your questions. We'll be deep diving more into the buy box stuff. It gets emailed out to you if you're a GoToLister member. So I will see you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern in Zoom. You guys can talk to me directly. Get any questions, concerns you have answered. I'm getting books from the bins, 50 cents a piece. Would you pick for FBA book with $3 profit, good rank, sales score? If it's got 125 plus sales score and you're getting it for 50 cents, you're going to make $3. I'll allow it. Don't go anywhere under $100 or we're never going to talk again, Ben. I'm just giving you a heads up.
You mean 100,000 or?
No, sales score, like how often it sells, like the e-score.
100, gotcha.
Yeah. That thing's got to turn and burn for you to get $3.
Yeah.
It's got to be guaranteed to sell.
Yeah. 50 cents a good buy cost.
Especially if it's fast moving. Most people sleep on the fiction, like you were talking about. I go library sales. If they got fiction for 50 cents or $1, you can clean up with a lot of fast moving. It's not exciting money, but turn $1 into $3 or $4 enough, you're going to be good to go.
All right. Peace out, guys.
We appreciate you. Everybody have a good night.
Peace.